Hi folks, welcome to the Jim Handy channel, and if you're new here, thanks for stopping by to check out the video. We have another indoor project that we're taking on today. It's related to our other video where we were replacing a garbage disposal. The sink faucet on that sink where we installed the garbage disposal is kind of worn out. It's just old, and it's a commercial type sink sprayer. You'll see that in a moment. And we're going to be replacing it with this. This is sort of a semi-commercial style sink faucet, and it's a Kohler, really good brand. Swear by their products are really good. So in any event, we're going to be installing this, so stick around and we'll show you how it's done. All right, to start the process of replacing our sink faucet, the first thing we need to do is turn the water off to the faucet itself. So there are two places that we do that. We've got our cold water supply on this side. So this valve, we just turn clockwise until it's snug. And then we do the same thing with our hot, which is over here. Now here's the faucet that we're going to be replacing. As you can see, it's one of these commercial sprayer faucets. This is some sort of off-brand. It's not a name brand. I actually was going to try and repair this. All it really needed was a new line here. You can see how that's getting frayed. It also has a little bit of a leak here. I searched high and low and could not find the parts necessary to actually do a repair to this faucet. So that's why I opted to just go with a name brand like Kohler, replace this. Also, this is like really super commercial looking, and I want to put something in that has that a little bit of a commercial feel, but not quite as utilitarian as this one is. We're going to start here at the top and remove a few parts just to make this a little bit easier on ourselves. So we need to, this is a set screw. Should be able to, let's see here. There we go. And you can see, hopefully, we're frayed here as well. The biggest issue with this old faucet was this line. Maybe if I had called a plumber, they could have fixed it, but that cost a fortune. So, all right, so we'll get this piece off. So that's got a big chunk of this faucet off and out of our way. Yeah, the rest of this will come off in one piece as soon as we remove the mounting hardware that sits underneath the countertop holding this on. So let's go back underneath and see if we can show you how that's done. All right, so before we loosen up the hardware and pull the faucet out, we do have to disconnect the lines that run to the faucet. So we're going to do that right here. Let's see here. The biggest thing with installing a kitchen faucet or replacing one is you just have to have patience. It's a tight workspace that you have to work in. And yeah, other than that, it's actually pretty straightforward. Let's see, get a little better view there. Let's move that dishwasher drain hose for the moment so that that's kind of out of our way. There we go. Give us a little more room. Now the last step, and hopefully I can show you this. This is going to be a little bit tricky because it is super, super tight. But it's going to be up inside there, so we'll see what we can do. All right, I want to see if I can twist this from the top. All right, so there we go. Surprisingly, that faucet was just hanging on. There we go. Okay. And we go top side. And we're out of there. All right, let's get into our faucet here and see what we've got. Set of instructions. Oh yeah. Very similar from a hardware standpoint. Again, I will be anxious to see what the supply lines to this faucet, how long they are, if we have to use the extensions from the old faucet that was installed for the old faucet, or if we can just go straight in to our shutoff valves. So I'm going to get this hardware out of the box, and we'll go ahead and start the process of getting it initially set in place. Okay, so we have our new faucet here. There's one little step that we need to take care of. We have this little guy right here that needs to go up underneath the bottom, and that provides a surface. We just have a single hole application here. I should say this faucet does come with this accessory, so that if you're converting from a two-handled type of faucet where there's a hole drilled for each handle plus one for the faucet itself, it does come with this accessory so that you can still use this. So that's pretty nice. We don't need that in this case. All I need to do is just bring this little plastic piece right up on the bottom here, snap that in to place. Let's see, actually I think it must be keyed. Let's see. Yes, there we go. And then we can insert everything in. that's got sort of the top part of this done. We have some additional hardware here. This is what goes up underneath. There'll be a big flat washer that slips up underneath, and then a rubber washer, and then we have this piece, which is nice because it uses screws to tighten everything down with. I mean, it threads on, but then it has screws to hold it in place. So a much better type of attachment solution than the old faucet. I'm also happy to report that our water lines running to the faucet will go straight to the valves. So we can get rid of these extensions, and that'll clean things up quite a bit, actually. So let's remove these old extensions. Another nice thing about getting rid of these little extension cables here, or water lines, is they're not braided steel. They're the kind that could potentially leak. So again, we're going to have a much nicer installation here. The other thing I've noticed is someone used pipe thread tape on this valve, and you do not need that with this kind of attachment. These are compression fittings, and I don't know how well that will show up, but there's a little rubber washer in there, and that's all that's needed to ensure a watertight fit. In fact, this, well, I think I got enough of it off, but the plumbing tape that was put on here can actually create more problems than they solve. It's just not needed, and the other one has it as well. So I'll be getting all of that off. And but before we hook our lines up, we have to get our hardware pushed up on it that's actually going to hold our faucet in place. So we'll get started with that next. So the nice feature about this Kohler is you don't have to worry about tightening the nut itself all the way down. It has two screws built into it, so once you get it just snugged up, you can then take a Phillips head screwdriver, and let's see if I can get in here without blocking your view. And we should be able to just give these two screws now I'll have to go top side, make sure everything is positioned correctly. All right, you can see we have a very sturdy snug, so we've gotten everything tightened up. Everything is good to go. And we have a little bit of plumbing to connect underneath, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we have this weight, and it needs to be installed about right here. And this is what helps keep tension on the removable spout, so that when you go to put it back in its stowed position, there's a weight. This basically just provides a weight so that this line ends up sliding back up into the faucet itself. So it's just like any, like if you had a sink sprayer, there's usually a weight down underneath the sink, and that's what this is. So we're just attaching this. Okay, so we just slip that up onto the faucet connector, and it literally just slips on and pushes on until it clicks. And that's all there is to installing that. And then we have our two lines. That we need to our supply lines. So I'm going to go ahead and get these routed. There we go. Got that nice and snug. Now, I'm going to leave those faucets off for the moment because I do need to put the garbage disposal back on and get the plumbing hook, drain plumbing hooked back up before we go turn our water on. So I'm not going to bother showing you that. I've got a whole nother video on removing and installing a new garbage disposal, so you can look at that if you want to see how garbage disposal is removed or installed. And I'll bring you back once we have our garbage disposal back in and are ready to turn the water back on. Okay, so we have our faucet all set to go, and we have our garbage disposal back in place. And so now we're going to turn the water back on, check for leaks underneath the sink here, and then we'll test our faucet. Okay, so let's start by turning this on. Let's see here, it's way back here. Looks like we're good. I see no leaks. Everything there looks to be. Let's turn our water on. Now we're going to go back underneath and look at our plumbing. I see no leaks whatsoever. No leaks around our drain. Flip our faucet to the, let's see. We go. Okay, so we're going to call that a major success with the faucet. All right, so there we go. A successful job here with the sink faucet. The new one is working great. Everything works very smoothly. So again, no leaks. And just all in all, pretty simple job, not too difficult. Again, the worst part is getting up behind the back part of your sink to attach the hardware up underneath the counter. However, I will say with this Kohler, and I'll put a link to this product in the description, but they've got a pretty clever way that they have designed that hardware so that it makes it a lot easier to get that hardware up and installed and tightened down. So I was pretty impressed with that. And it's just a good brand to use. So there you go. Hope you found this useful. If you did, appreciate if you give the video a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Doesn't cost a thing. Have a great week, great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.